Here with Vince Brown ahead of Saturday's game against Moravian on the road in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Coach, appreciate the time as always. Let's start with last week at Buffalo State. Long road trip, but your guys showed up ready to play. Got a big win, got the first one of the year. Just talk a little bit about that locker room after the win and what it meant to be able to get the first one under your belt.
Well, it's always great to go and get the win, especially when you travel like that, taking long road trips. As I stated before, you have to prepare the right way and do the little things. And so I felt like our coaches prepared and our players prepared and our staff that traveled with us, everybody was locked in. And so we had a good Friday after getting off the bus, but going to bed that night, I had a good feeling that we would come out and play. When we were going to get started, that was kind of iffy, but I knew once we settled in, then we were going to play good builder football.
We flipped the page to this week. Moravian, a different opponent, first time these two teams have ever played each other. Mm-hmm. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball for your team. Put up 396 yards of offense last week. But Moravian, brand new head coach, a lot of energy around that program. What are some keys for the offense to be able to continue the momentum that they got last week against a team that's going to come out ready to play with a lot of energy?
I think for us, we were able to put the first game behind us, come together, prepare the right way, and 12 taking control of his offense, and everybody supported him. The offensive line, we had to pick up some things on that end. We had an injury or two, but guys were ready to go. Next guy up is our motto. If you prepare the right way and you put in the work, then you should prepare to be a starter, and that's what we preach here. I felt like the offensive coordinators, they put in a great game plan. We had to make some adjustments, but that's what the game is all about. And so we made some adjustments, and we got that offense rolling. And when it's rolling, it can be very, very special to watch. And I enjoyed it. I seen a lot of guys step up. Happy to have Keg back. He played huge. Ricky, that guy made plays all day. And that touchdown in the end zone, he came over to the sideline and he told Coach E, "Hey, I'm seeing something here. Can we look at this?" And then we dialed it up. Coaches looked at it. They dialed it up, and it worked. So we love guys like that, and guys who are doing the right thing. And I'm also was proud of the run game. Those guys coming out of the backfield. We couldn't get established how we usually do, but that'll come. And that was great. That was great.
You talk about all the returning pieces that you guys have on the offensive side, especially out at the wide receiving core coming back from injury. Just talk about what that did for your offense in terms of giving it the boost that I think that maybe it needed, and maybe the extra little spark that it needed from week 1 to week 2, and with the 12-hour road trip and being ready to play. Just talk a little bit about those guys coming back and providing that extra little spark.
Well, I think when you bring back your core group of guys and you put the time in camp and you got your timing right, and then all of a sudden you have a couple injuries, and now you're looking around and we have some young guys that's stepping up, but we have some familiar faces like TK. He settled down and got back into his rhythm, and so I was proud of him. And then some of the younger guys, we had Will Chimbrook, get some reps. Cam Ferguson get some reps. We even lined Homer up out there, and he got some reps. So I was proud of those young guys for living in the moment and preparing the right way. But now that we have some of our core group of guys back, now I think that offense is going to continue to excel each and every week. And so we prepare the right way, and we go into it with the game plan. They trust the coaches. Coach Eldon does a great job when it comes to preparing those guys each week for the defenses and the schemes and the adjustments. And so we just have to take care of the football, which we turned it over a couple times early. I attribute a little bit of it to the travel, but I'm not going to ever give us any excuses, because we got to get ready to go. Buffalo State, great environment to play in. That crowd was loud. They were going, I could hear them all on the other side. I said, man, that's a good crowd. But you know what? Us pulling up, and I seen Builder Nation, I felt great, man. I seen Builder Nation out there, and I said, hey, once our guys see this, they're gonna know that, the love is there, the support is there, and just go out and play your game. And so I was proud of us overall. Defensively, we had some big plays. We had 3 turnovers in the first half, and then we end up getting another one right coming out of half, but it got called back But I was proud of those guys. I spoke about Sincere Hawkins after the game. I mean, that young man has been preparing the right way since day one when he first came into the team meetings. Never complains. He's in the weight room. He's studying. He's doing everything he needs to do to be successful here. And so I'm just extremely proud of him. We had to fill in some spots on the D-line, which we're going to get some guys back this week. But those guys, they play well. Not the sacks that I challenged them to get, but as far as stopping the run up the gut, that was one of our main focuses. And then I thought our back end played well. You talk about Benny Nina, Jashon Jackson, Xavier Hunter, those guys played well. They stepped up, they made plays, and so I was proud overall. After the penalties, a couple chippy plays here and there, we're still trying to teach these young men that you can play the game between the lines, and each year is new with new leaders, but understand penalties hurt your team. If you're not disciplined enough to line up and play the game in between the whistles, then I don't want you out there. So we fixed those things, and we're looking forward to Moravian.
You led right into what I wanted to talk about next on the defense. The back end playing extremely well against Buffalo State. Now a different challenge. Landmark Conference Offensive Athlete of the Week in Jordan Bingham for Moravian. Just talk a little bit about the challenges that Moravian offense is going to present to your defense and what you hope to see out of your defense to be able to do what they need to do.
Well, I tell you, once you turn on the film, he jumps out. I mean, when we're studying film, we're looking for players, we're looking for playmakers, and we're looking for game changers. And I believe he's a game changer. So in the meetings with our defensive staff this week, speaking with Coach Tim and Coach Trail and our DB's Coach Sean Everett, we know we have to be alert of where he's at on that field, and we have to be physical, but we also have to communicate. They try to get him the ball in numerous ways, and so just evaluating their talent and their team. Those guys love to play football, and that's the message I gave to our guys. Don't look at no scores. Focus on this week, only this week. They're preparing for us, we're preparing for them. But those guys love to play football. Up in PA, they fly around, they're excited about the game, and if we're having stupid penalties and turnovers, then they're going to try to take advantage of it. I like the way their quarterback plays. He goes through his reads and his progressions, and I think that's important. And so we have to be very solid in our drops, our keys, and communicate. And our D-line has to play well this game.
As we look at this game as a whole, 60 minutes up in Pennsylvania, talk about some of the big keys you see for your team to be able to head back home and head into the Washington and Lee game 7 days from now in terms of having that win and having that momentum going into homecoming.
Well, I think for us, each week we focus on us. I tell them at practice, I want to see how we prepare. That's going to give me an edge to give the coordinator certain goals where they can make adjustments, where they can just go, or whether we do something on special teams. But we need to focus on us. We had a great meeting coming back off the road. We had good weight room. The enthusiasm was up. I think guys are starting to realize now, the more we buy in and the more we bond together, which is great on the road, right? The more we bond together, the more we're going to play for each other. And so I know we have to come out and establish our run. We have some great running backs back there. Cam went out, but he'll be back. But I trust in the guys that we have, Amari, Larry, and Curtis, and those guys, and even Brady, he might see some time. And so always be ready when your number's called. And so I challenged the O-line in the meetings this week to get back to that builder football, that grind and having fun and doing the right things, attacking our guys, not looking around, finish the plays. And the defense, as far as defense goes, the challenges. They have a good quarterback and some good talent at receiver, and their running back is pretty stout as well. So we have to be physical. We have to use our hands. We have to be fast to the football. And then we have to get turnovers, which is our motto.
Here with Elton Brown ahead of Saturday's football game at Moravian. Coach, appreciate the time. Let's talk about the offensive side of the football. You guys got it rolling on Saturday against Buffalo State on the road and got that first win. Just talk a little bit about what you liked from your offense in that performance against the Bengals.
Like we said, we had a lot of guys that had to go out. T. Lace took the first snap and couldn't go, so the offensive line was shuffled a little bit. They got in, played good football. We had some things that we can clean up, but we were able to run the ball efficiently. And 12 came back. 12, we talked all week. He knew he had to play better. He told us he would play better. He showed up and played better.
And talk a little bit about 12 returning from a record-breaking season a year ago. Just talk about how his leadership just keeps propelling this offense to do things that haven't been done at Apprentice in a long time, if not ever.
Well, one of the things to being a decent or a good coordinator is having good players. So when you got a quarterback who can see what he sees, read the field like he does, get us in and out of different plays, and talk to me on the sideline, it's easier to call things when you got a guy like him. Coming off a record-breaking season last year, sometimes in the offseason the pressure can kind of get to you, and a lot of things. And maybe week one, maybe he did feel a little bit of it, but he was able to get back to who he was, get back to his basics. He's always a film guy. He's always a studying guy. So just got back to the basics, and it showed.
396 yards of offense, a lot of that through the air. Keg, Corp, TK, the list goes on as to how well Mason was able to spread the football around. Just talk about some of those playmakers and what you've seen in their progression throughout preseason camp all the way through to where we are today.
Me and Ricky Corpus, we always talk about him walking in the doors as a young man, and he's growing each and every day. While he was out, he would do anything we asked him to do, record, but he was willing to get back and do what he had to do to get back. And so to get him back was huge. He made a couple big catches, one on our sideline. He had to kind of go upstairs to get it. So just having a presence like him back out there, guys knowing what to do. TK's been TK since the beginning. He's going to be reliable. I call him like the strong little guy. So he's always going to be reliable. To get Keg back, he fought through some injuries, hamstring and then his shoulder, but just kept coming back. So Mason got in the rhythm, got a little comfortable, was able to get his targets back, and we get another one back this week. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Well, you talk about this week, Moravian playing with a lot of energy, new head coach. They haven't gotten that first win under Coach Long, but they're definitely playing with a lot of energy. Just talk a little bit about what you see from the Greyhounds on the defensive side of the football when you watch them on film.
When you turn on the film and you see a defense where all 11 guys are just running to the ball, they can cause problems. Whether it's turnovers, whether it's just kind of throwing wrenches in what you do. It's hard. So those guys do a good job. They like to play with 4 linebackers on the field, do what they can do to kind of disrupt you up front, stunts, things like that. We got to be ready to go. Coverage-wise, I think they're going to play us in a couple 2s and 3s, but I think the majority, they like to play man. And guys who feel comfortable playing man means I'm either get home or I'm comfortable in my corner. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I know our guys are looking forward to it. They hype about it, so it's going to be exciting.
What do you see as the biggest key for your offense as they make the 5.5-6 hour trip north and try and come back with a W?
It's always run the ball. From the beginning, I'm a lineman by heart. And so if you can run the ball, you can set the tone. And our guys up front, they do a great job every week of answering the call. I challenge them every week. The first thing I say each week is, in order for us to win this game, you guys got to show up. And each and every week they show up. They know it's not the glamorous position. I've played it before, but you find joy in looking at your 400 total yards, 500 total yards. So those guys, they come to play. We're in any game we play in.
Here with Lawrence Reed ahead of Saturday's game against Moravian. Larry, appreciate the time. Let's talk a little bit about the way the season started for you guys. 1-1, got on the winning track on Saturday against Buffalo State, and just talk a little bit about what it meant to the team, to your offensive side of the football, to be able to get that first one under your belt.
It felt good. We knew we let one get away right there against Averett. We knew we had them. We just couldn't finish through. It felt great. Everybody played well. Everybody played with the people we had, knowing we had injuries. This week we're going to get people back. It feels good. I think we're going to be excited for this one.
Your offensive line really showed out on Saturday at Buffalo State, allowed you guys to really get the running game going, allow the passing game to get going, which you were a big part of as well. Just talk about what that group has been able to do for you guys, getting that offense rolling to the standard that you guys set a year ago.
All offensive line, they always play good, but having freshmen come in for the first time, actually getting some experience, it was nice to see them step in and know exactly what they had to do. Yeah, it's great.
You look ahead to the game against Moravian this week, a team that is going to fly around to the football on the defensive side. What do you guys have to do offensively? What do you guys have to do on that side of the ball to be able to get the win and come back home and get ready for Washington and Lake?
Just gotta make sure we know who's coming in, make sure we get our blocks secured. We know they're gonna blitz, so get a quick game's gonna be nice, it's gonna be easy, especially with 2 people coming back. So I think we're gonna have a good day against them.
Here with Xavier Hunter prior to Saturday's game at Moravian for the Builder football team. But appreciate the time. Let's talk a little bit about the defensive side of the football. You guys got a big win on Saturday at Buffalo State. Just talk about the energy out there on the defensive side of the football and what it felt like to be able to get that first win of the season.
It felt good. We were just flying around, doing what we were supposed to do. We knew our assignments. From the first game, we made adjustments, and then we took that to the next game, and we came out on top.
This week against Moravian, you guys, especially in the secondary, have got a big task stopping Jordan Bingham, who was Landmark Conference Player of the Week on the offensive side of the football this past week. Just talk about some of the challenges that you guys are going to face on Saturday.
They look pretty athletic on film. We watched them a little bit, but it's nothing we never seen before. We have guys in practice that's athletic as those guys, so I mean, we'll probably be comfortable out there. So we just gotta be on our P's and Q's, make sure we on top of our game and play ball.
What's the biggest key for you guys on the defensive side of the football to be able to do what you guys want to do and make your way back here to Newport News 2-1?
We need to maintain the run, make sure our D-line doing what we're supposed to do, linebackers filling the holes, and DBs just staying poised and being calm out there, when the ball gets thrown to us. So we need to make plays on defense, get turnovers, and then we'll probably come out with that win.